You're standing in your life and someone says, I can't do this. That's not a sentence, that's a trap. It's a spell. A lazy, vague, autopiloted spell cast by someone whose mind is being driven by a gremlin in the back seat. Enter the meta-model. The meta-model is the wrecking ball that smashes the cardboard walls of linguistic delusion. You've been hypnotized your whole life by language. You just didn't know it. Language is not a mirror of reality. It's the filter through which reality gets constructed. When someone deletes, distorts, or generalizes in their language, they're like a Photoshop artist, airbrushing the truth into a lie that they can comfortably suffer in. The meta-model says, wait a second, who said that? What exactly do you mean by always? Compared to what? How specifically? Every meta-model question, it pulls the threads on the sweater of illusion until it unravels. Deletions, you fill them in with precision. Distortions, you untwist them like a garden hose that's been pissing in the wrong direction. Generalizations, you rip them up like a child realizing Lego towers. They aren't holy structures. So how do you already do it? You know, when your friend says, everyone hates me, and you reply, everyone? Really? Who exactly? Boom, meta-model. Or when a kid says, I can't do this, and you go, what can't you do specifically? Have you tried breaking it down? Meta-model. You're already using it, like a bird flying and not realizing it's flying. You just hadn't named the wings yet. Chunking up and chunking down. Let's chunk up the big picture. Why does the meta-model matter? Because clarity is power. Because precision is liberation. Because confusion is the leash that keeps you obedient to fear and smallness. So let's chunk down. What happens when you hear a phrase like, he made me feel that way? The meta-model would say, how specifically? What did he do? And how does that cause your emotional reaction? Is it possible someone else might react differently? That's not invalidation. That's dehypnosis. You're unplugging identity from a faulty equation. So the new belief, I will not tolerate vagueness in myself or others when clarity could set us free. This isn't a skill. It's the spiritual sword. Wield it, or be cut by the lies of your own language. Let's say someone says, I'm not good enough. You pace. That must feel heavy, to carry that belief. Then you lead. But I'm curious, when did you decide that? And what exactly do you mean by enough? Enough for what, compared to who? You just opened a crack in their identity. Now light can get in. That's the power of structured questioning. Science says neuroplasticity. When you ask a meta-model question, you force the brain out of its lazy loops. The prefrontal cortex, the part that makes you actually human, it activates. You start laying down new tracks of perception, connection, clarity. You're literally rewiring the brain by talking better. Talk like shit, live in a fog. Speak clearly. Reorganize your reality. If you don't use the meta-model, here's your future. You keep saying shit like, I always fail, and believing it. You're on loops like nobody understands me. And you never examine them. You teach others, especially kids, that sloppy thinking is truth. And that karma hits hard. Because you live in a prison whose walls you built with your own damn mouth. So why are you afraid to use it? You're afraid to question someone else's vague beliefs because it might make them uncomfortable. Newsflash, comfort is the enemy of change. Or you're afraid that you'll sound like a dick. But is it kinder to let someone keep suffering in delusion, or to lovingly challenge them out of it? Fear of disrupting is fear of responsibility. But your divine masculine energy says, I'll take the weight of truth, and I'll deliver it clearly. The top beliefs that need shattering, I can't, I always. They made me feel. It's just who I am. I should. They're just toxic. All of these, they're vague patterns that need to be smashed open. With what? The meta model, every time. Your future, if you install this, you become the kind of person who cuts through confusion like a hot sword through butter, who speaks with clarity and magnetic conviction, who can spot bullshit beliefs in others from a mile away and help them rewire it. Stops yourself from spiraling by asking just one precise question. You're not a victim of your language anymore. You're the goddamn architect. Right now, inside you, a shift is happening. You're beginning to realize clarity. It's not an option. It's a sacred responsibility. As you listen, your unconscious mind is reorganizing, already sorting vague thoughts into more structured shapes, already scanning for deletions to fill, distortions to straighten, generalizations to soften. So from now on, your mouth becomes a tool of liberation. Every time you hear a vague statement, a small flicker of curiosity lights up. And that curiosity becomes a question. And that question becomes clarity. And that clarity becomes change. And that change becomes fucking freedom. The meta model, it's holy fire. It's the furnace that melts delusion into raw truth. It's the chisel that shapes your mind from marble into art. It's not just NLP. It's not just language. It's the difference between wandering blind and walking with the torch for awareness. Use it, live it, be it. Let your words set people free, starting with you. From now on, I speak truth. I question illusion. I ask like a laser. I clarify like a surgeon. I change the world one sentence at a time.